Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the April 16th, 2019 City Council reorganizational meeting. And the first order of business would be the roll call for the current council.
Bartlett.
Here.
Hirsch.
Here.
Riley. Borzwa.
Here.
Johnson. Here. Reeves. Here. Caravello.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Hiley.
Here.
O'Connor.
Here.
And Denise Durancic is absent and excused.
And Majewski?
And I'm sorry, Majewski is absent and excused as well.
Okay, we have a quorum. We can begin the meeting. And the next order of business would be the posting of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which is going to be led by Sid Boersma.
I also want to welcome everybody, all, including our guests, to this transitional organizational meeting of the City Council of Stoughton. And I'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and you may be seated.
Thank you, Sid, and thank you to the Color Guard for joining us this evening. And then the next item of business would be the oath of office and seating of incoming alderpersons. And I'd like to thank Alderperson Durancic, O'Connor, and Johnson for their service.
Thank you.
You will all be missed in your own way. Did you have anything you wanted to say before we do the oath? Any of you, either one of you?
I don't care to.
I do, of
Okay.
course.
Go ahead. The floor is yours within reason.
Shut up out there. I wanted to thank everybody for my time here, my constituents and the people in this room. I know I bug the heck out of you guys sometimes. I know my name will live down in infamy for my certain term that I used at one time, but I really enjoyed it at times, and other times it was really tough. But that's what you do when you provide the best service that you can for people. I learned so much about myself and realized that I have a little bit of a temper, more than I thought. So, but I just really want to say, you guys, that I've really enjoyed each and one of you and what we've done here and everything like that, and I wish you well, and I will be back and would like to help out in other ways, but thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to do the oath of office. Who will go first?
Tim Riley.
Oh my gosh, I did
Yes,
not do
you've
that.
done this before, haven't you?
I have once. Should I come up there, or where should I?
Probably
go?
right at the podium there.
Podium, thank you.
Yeah, we'll try to get a mug shot for you.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, yeah.
All right, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Timothy S. Riley,
Having been elected to
having been elected to
the office of District 1 Alder,
the office of District 1 Alder,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I try to make it illegible.
And then we have Brett Schumacher. If I could just have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Brett Schumacher,
having been elected to
having been elected to
the office of District 1 Alder,
the office of District 1 Alder,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the said office
the duties of the said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Next we have Jean Legaki. If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Jean Wagaki,
having been elected to
having been elected to
the office of District 2 Alder,
the office of District 2 Alder,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
And then we have Ozzie Doom.
This is your seat now.
All right, if I could just have you repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Ozzie Doom,
having been elected to
having been elected to
the office of District 4 Alder,
the office of District 4 Alder,
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of
and
Wisconsin,
the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the said office
the duties of the said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. Thank you.
I've been watching every night.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Who goes where?
Oh, there goes our buddy. You're here. These high ceremonies. Thanks, Dad.
You might ask you another day. Do we have to do it here, or does it? I can do it for that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Are there any communications from any of the alders tonight? Hearing none, welcome to the new ones. We'll jump right into it. The first order of business is council elections. So what we need to do is we need to start out by, go ahead, roll call. Oh, yeah, we can do, I guess we could do another roll call.
Bartlett,
Here.
Boersma,
Here.
Caravello,
Here.
Doom,
Here.
Hiley,
Here.
Hirsch,
Here.
I used to be like
Jensen,
second.
Here.
Legaki,
Here.
Reeves,
Here.
Riley,
Here.
Schumacher,
Here.
and Majewski is absent and excused.
Okay, now we'll go into business. We still have a quorum, so we're in good shape. Council elections, typically what we do is we look for a nomination for council president first. So at this point, I'll open it up for any nominations. Alderperson Boersma?
Nominate Greg Jensen.
I have a nomination for Greg Jensen. Is there any other nominations? Alderperson Hirsch?
I nominate Tom Majewski, and I had talked to him earlier today, so.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Once, twice. Any other nominations? 3 times. Okay, so since we have 2, we can do it in a couple different ways. We can either do a voice vote or we can do it by ballot. If we do it by ballot, which we've done traditionally, the ballots will be public records, so the results, we ask you to put your name on the ballots and the results will be in the minutes. What would you prefer to do?
I prefer by ballot.
Is that, okay, that's what we'll do. Holly will hand them out and just put the person that you'd like to select and your name on it, sign it, and then we'll collect them and tally them up.
Are you gonna listen?
There are 2 lines on that sheet of paper that you got us, so if you could write your name on the first line and whoever you're voting for on the second line, it'd make it easy for me.
We don't want to make it too easy for you, Howard. Thank you, Chief.
And I ask that everyone
Not
votes,
quite
so
easy.
then I don't
It's like
have
a little
to.
official voter thing, too. As opposed
Thank
to
you.
like suppression. All right, no pens. Holly, do you have an extra pen by any chance? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. I have an extra, you can hang on to it.
I think you got it.
Neil, see you.
And basically, the council president would fill in and chair the meeting in my absence. And then if I were to take a long vacation somewhere warm overseas, then the council president would assume the duties while I'm gone.
And chair of the committee of the whole.
And chair the committee of the whole, that's true. Yep, we also the CIP, and then the council president, according to our rules, cannot chair any other committee other than the committee of the whole and the CIP. So when you do your reorganizational meetings, you gotta kind of keep that in mind. And then the other thing would be at the reorganizational meetings, each council member can only chair 1 committee. So we kind of have to communicate to make sure that we don't fall into that situation where 1 person ends up on 2 committees as chairperson. Those are the basic rules. And can I stall any longer? Are you
I
ready?
got it.
All right.
So there were 5 votes for Greg Jensen and 6 votes for Tom Majewski.
Okay. Thank you. That was close. So then we'll open it up for nominations for vice president. Alderperson Boersma?
I nominate Greg Jensen.
Okay. And are there any other nominations?
I nominate Lisa Reeves.
I appreciate that, but I would probably recommend somebody with more seniority. Thank you, though.
So what do we do in that? Is it,
Do you want to withdraw your nomination? It's been made.
Yes, I mean, if
Okay.
she doesn't want to do it, she doesn't.
all right. Are there
Thank
any
you.
other nominations once? Any other nominations twice? Any other nominations 3 times? Hearing none, we can vote what unanimous consent? Is that what you do?
Well, there's only 1 nomination. I think there does need to be a vote.
Okay.
It's all in
You want to
favor.
do a voice vote?
Be a voice vote.
Okay, so all in favor of Greg Jensen as vice president, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Thank you. So in case something happens to me and Tom, you're it.
There he is, Miss
Tom falls off the ladder
America.
and you're on vacation?
Yeah, try not to let that happen, but thanks for filling in. Okay, the next item of business is R50 of 2019, which would be my appointments to the standing committees. So would entertain a motion.
So moved to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Reeves. And the way this works is, according to our ordinance, the mayor makes the appointment and the city council confirms. Alderperson Boersma?
Would you mind mentioning who are on the standing committee as recommended?
Okay, sure. On the Public Works, we are recommending Alderperson Boersma, Reeves, Majewski, and Bartlett. On personnel, it would be Boersma, Reeves, Majewski, and Bartlett again. On community affairs, council policy, it would be Schumacher, Lagaki, Hirsch, and Hiley. On finance, it would be Schumacher, Reeves, Jensen, and Doom. And on public safety, it would be Riley, Lagaki, Jensen, and Doom. And on park and recreation, it would be Riley, Caravello, Hirsch, and Hiley. And what I try to do is I go through all the requests that were made by the alderpersons, take them into consideration. We like to roll over somebody that has served on that committee the previous year, so we have some history and continuity. And once we go through that process, we try to honor everybody's requests as best as we can. If they didn't get their first request, chances are they got their second request and or their third request. So that's how I try to be fair about it, and usually it works out pretty good. This year was a little bit trickier than last year, and what makes it challenging is the way our ordinance is written. On the standing committees, you have to have one alderperson from each district on each committee. So if we had 2 alders from District 1, for example, that wanted to be on Public Works, I can only appoint 1. And that's usually where the conflict occurs. So that's when we try to look at what the second and third choices were for folks. So we try to be fair about it and honor any requests that you have, and hopefully everybody is satisfied with their appointments. Any questions on that? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. That carries. Thank you. And the next would be Resolution 51 in 2019, and these would be the mayor's aldermanic appointments to the non-standing boards, committees, and commissions, and I would entertain a motion for that.
Second.
Motion by Boersma and a second by Jensen.
I don't know.
And here again, what we try to do is spread the wealth. We're not, the ordinance doesn't really restrict us from putting 2 people from the same district on a committee, commission, or a non-standing board, but we do try to spread it around so we can have the best representation as possible. Alderperson Boersma.
I know this is taking a little bit of time, but just for the council members, would you mention who's on which board?
Sure. On the planning, we have Schumacher, Caravello, and Majewski. And on utilities, we have Hirsch, Jensen, and Hiley. And on the board of review, we have Boersma, Caravello, Reeves, Jensen, and Hirsch, which is a tricky one because that meets during the day once a year, and people have jobs that they have to go to. So I appreciate the flexibility for those that are taken off of their work schedule to accommodate that one. Business Park North is Schumacher and Bartlett. Commission on Aging is Boersma. Ethics Board, which hasn't met for many years, is also Boersma. Landmarks is Lagaki. Library Board is Lagaki. Opera House Board is Reeves. Rivers and Trails Task Force is Caravello. Chamber Visitor Services Committee is Caravello, and Housing Authority is Boersma. And most of the people served on the same ones this past session. We'd like to keep some continuity there. It just makes it easier, especially since many of these only meet once a year, so that way we don't have to go through and retrain. So we appreciate the flexibility from all of you. Alderperson Boersma.
One more issue. As I understand it, the person who is the head of Public Works is the head of the tree, is on the tree commission. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Public Works does tree commission, and then also I learned this week cemetery board appointment as well. And so you guys can make those recommendations at Public Works. They'll come here probably next week at the meeting. I believe Public Works meets this week. And then also the library board has a process where they recruit for the citizen members for the library board, and we'll get to that next. And then they'll forward me recommendations, and then I'll ask community members for any vacancies that are left. We'll put something on our website or send out some communications to fill in some of the other ones. But fortunately, most of our citizen members have stayed, and those that haven't, we've been able to fill most of them.
And I'm not sure what happens with the cemetery board, but it's my understanding that our rules say that the Public Works chair is the representative to the tree commission.
I think that's been the practice. I'm not really sure if there's anything in our ordinances that say that, and that's something we can look into.
We had a discussion at tree commission last time about that, and that was my understanding.
Yeah, because what I found is on a lot of these, some of them are in our ordinances and some of them aren't. There was a number of them that were listed as committees that haven't been active for years, so we're trying to dissolve them. Some of it we did through ordinance, some of them we did, there were no ordinances, so we just disbanded them basically. But we'll check into that one
Yeah,
further.
would it be possible maybe to have Holly check in, or you check in?
Yeah, we can certainly do that.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the non-standing appointments? Otherwise, we do have a motion on the floor, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, that carries. R52, 2019 is the mayor citizen appointment to boards, committees, and commissions. I would entertain a motion for that.
I will move to.
All right, I think I heard Alderperson Hirsch.
Second.
Second by, I didn't hear who that was.
Jensen.
Jensen, okay. Any discussion on this one? And there's, like I said, on the citizens' appointments, there's a number of them, most of them carried over. Really, I would say that the notable openings that are still there is we do have a couple places on the Hall of Fame committee. If anybody's watching that would be interested, we're looking to fill those vacancies. The library board, as I mentioned, they'll send me some recommendations. And I think pretty much everything else carried over. The Sister City one, my understanding is they haven't met for years. So if there's something that'll come together, that they would get together and meet. So I'm still working on that one. So for the most part, they're filled, and I appreciate those community members that are willing to give up their time to help us. Any questions or comments on this one? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, that carries. R53, 2019 is designation of public depositories and authorized signatures. Would be, there's a resolution in the packet for that one, and it's pretty much self-explanatory as far as the banking institutions that we deal with and who's authorized to sign on behalf of the city. Are there any questions on any of that?
Move to approve Resolution 53, 2019.
Second?
Motion by second by Bartlett. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. R54, 2019 is designation of the official newspaper of the city of Stoughton. And you can see there's a resolution in there. Sometimes we do resolutions, sometimes we just make motions. It really just depends on the situation. Sometimes it feels like there's no rhyme or reason for it. In the past, we've done these by resolutions, so we basically just changed the dates and went with what we already had. Anybody like to make this motion?
Move to approve.
A motion by Reeves, second by Hirsch. Any questions on this one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Resolution 55 of 2019 is confirmation of the mayor's appointment to the Redevelopment Authority, also known as the RDA. Alderperson Jensen asked us to pull this one out because this one's a little bit more complicated. This one requires a 4/5 vote for approval. So in the past, we've pulled this one out and voted on it separately. So the recommendations are in the packet, and I'm looking for a motion for this.
Move to approve R 55-2019.
Second.
I think I heard
The tie.
Alderperson Hiley for a second. He was at least, I don't know if he was louder though, but I heard him. Pretty soft-spoken over there. You're gonna have to be more assertive if you're gonna sit next to her.
Yeah, I know, I'm usually the loud one. Why don't you say it?
Any comments or discussion on that?
Could you just mention those people?
Sure. So for the RDA appointments, the alders would be Alderperson Hirsch had asked to continue, and Alderperson Doom had made, one of his requests was to serve on the RDA. And then the citizen appointment that was up for renewal was Roger Springman, and he agreed to continue another 5-year term. And we thank Roger for that. It's been a lot of work, but we can start to see some results of the efforts, so. And thanks to you as well for Regina. I know there's been a lot of meetings this last year.
It's well worth it.
Okay.
And I just want to announce that I have some personal reasons to abstain from this vote, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, that's fine. Any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
So this would leave a vacancy also for a citizen appointment, from what I saw?
Yes, we are, yep, we are still looking. We had one citizen member that I believe had 1 year left on his term that resigned last week, and we just haven't really spent any time recruiting for it. And typically, what the statute and our bylaws look for is somebody that has experience in development or financial or something that's relevant to what we're trying to do on the riverfront. So we're certainly open to anybody that might be interested. You can send them our way, and we'd be glad to talk to them and kind of let them know what the commitment is and what the issues are, and hopefully they would be interested in serving out at least the rest of that term, and then we could talk again next year. Okay, I had a motion on that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Was there any questions on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
None opposed, one abstention. That carries.
Move to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
And there's a second by Alderperson Reeves. And just as a reminder, we're going to take some pictures, so if you could stick around for that. And there is a RDA meeting in this room at 7 if anybody's interested in sticking around. Otherwise, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed? That carries. Thank you. Huh?
I haven't met you.
There's a couple things on there.